Hello, welcome to my music room. It's time to get down to the subject matter for today, modes. Modes is a very misunderstood subject. Today I'm hopefully going to make it a little clearer to you, okay? Now, modes are just inversions of a major scale. All music theory is compared to the major scale. It's the most fundamental of all scales. Now, if you were to start on a different note of the major scale and play right through the 7 tones, beginning in a different place, you'd have a different mode. And that would have a completely different structure to the major scale. Now, what I'm going to do to make things a little clearer, and it's something that's usually missing from the teaching of modes, is how to construct modal chord progressions. If you can hear it, it makes it a lot easier for you. I'm going to show you how to make mode chord progressions, and I'm going to start each mode on exactly the same note. I'm going to start all the modes beginning on the note C, so you can compare them to one another. Let's go over here to the chart, and I'll show you what most people know about modes, okay? Now, on this chart, you'll see this is the name of all the different modes, the 7 modes of major scale. C major is actually called Ionian mode. The Dorian mode, Phrygian mode, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. It sounds like a bunch of ancient Greek. It is. It's been around for a long time. But it's still around today. You're going to hear this stuff in everything. You hear it in all music. Now, the only thing that this chart really tells you is the sequence of the modes. For example, Dorian will always be the 2nd mode of any major scale. Lydian, for example, will always be the 4th mode of any major scale. So in essence, the sequence is always the same. The only thing that changes is the note name in the front. If it was a different major scale, if it was G major, G would be the major scale. A, which is the 2nd note of G, would be the Dorian scale. Let me show you a really basic example of why I think modes are important to learn. I'm going to play a basic 3-chord progression, and I want you to tell me what key it's in. Here we go. Okay, now if you said that was in the key of A, you're absolutely right. In my seminars, nobody ever gets that one wrong. Now, what I'm going to do is play the same 3 chords and place the emphasis on a different chord. Then I want you to tell me what key it's in, okay? Here we go. Usually people will scream out, hey, it's in the key of E. It's in the key of A. Why are those 2 answers not right? Well, it's not in the key of E because if we had E, the 1, 4, 5 chord would be E, A, and B. I didn't play that. And besides, a moment ago, you told me those same 3 chords were in the key of A. So obviously, A would be a closer answer than E. A is still not a correct answer because it doesn't address where the home base of this chord progression is. If you listen to the chord progression, it really sounds like it's at rest at E. E sounds like home, right? This is actually in a modal key. Songs don't always have to be in major keys. This is actually going to be in the E mode of the A major scale. We're borrowing information from the A major scale because we're still in A, essentially. But E, where is E in the major scale for A? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we play the A major scale, we end up at the 5th degree is E. So the 5th mode, this song is probably in the 5th mode of A, which would, in this case, be E Mixolydian. Looking at our chart one more time, you can see that the 5th mode is Mixolydian. No matter what key you're in, the 5th mode would always be Mixolydian. Now, this is just a basic example. I want to start explaining what the modes actually are at this point. But what I wanted to emphasize there was how important emphasis is. If I place the emphasis on a different chord in the major scale, you see how it changes the sound to your ear. Okay? So at this point now, we're going to start looking at the construction of the 1st mode, which is Ionian major.